Hi guys, welcome back to Infinite Possibilities, the podcast where we explore the lives of amazing people, their choices, challenges and opportunities. And today I have a very special guest, Chris Wong!
Hello everyone.
Hey, so Chris, what do you do? What's your 1-minute introduction?
If I was to sum it up really succinctly, I'd say I'm a martial artist musician.
Whoa, very cool. Martial arts and music. Sounds like a very interesting combo.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
and
suppose. I find there's a bit of crossover between the two. But
Oh, okay, that's cool. We will dig more into that. So, we really want to know how Chris got to where he is today, so we're going to go right from the beginning. So, Chris, what kind of child were you like growing up?
I suppose if I was just to say my childhood was very, very blessed, I think I had not without its challenges, but I think I had a very straightforward childhood in that sense. Like being born and raised in Australia, it's pretty blessed in that sense. So you're not really going to run into any issues.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And did you have siblings?
Yeah, I'm the eldest, so I've got a younger brother, a younger sister. Yeah.
Oh, really? Oh, I didn't actually know that.
Yeah.
That's cool. And what about, how was primary school for you? Do you have any early memories?
I went to a few different primary schools. So actually, the first primary school I went to was in Springwood, but not Queensland Springwood, Springwood Blue Mountains in New South Wales.
Oh, okay, so you went to Sydney first.
Yeah, I was born in Melbourne, then moved to Sydney, and then went to primary school in Sydney. Then halfway through that, I moved from Sydney to Cabarita Beach, so that's like the Tweed Coast, so northern New South Wales, and I went to primary school there. And then about a year later, I moved to Malaysia, went to primary school
Oh my gosh.
in Malaysia, international primary school there. And then about a year later, I moved back to Cabarita Beach and then finished my primary school and my high school around the Tweed area.
Wow.
Went to university in Lismore, moved to Brisbane, went to university again, and then started working.
Wow, and did you enjoy the moves as a child?
No, I didn't
You must
enjoy
hate
it.
it. You got to remake your friends and...
Yeah, so I didn't really enjoy the moves, but I wouldn't change it because it's cool. I got to see different places as a child and see many countries as a child. So
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
What about in terms of personality-wise? Were you a very quiet kid?
I was quiet, but I was kind of, I suppose, experimenting with a lot of things. I just like doing a lot of different things when I was a kid. So I was quite introverted as a child, but I'd always just like do my own thing.
Yeah, that's pretty
I
cool.
wouldn't let things stop me. I'd just go and do stuff.
Yeah, and what about in terms of the sort of school environment? How did you sort of fit in? Did you like the academics? Were you the sporty type?
I was pretty kind of fly on the wall, kind of just flew under the radar. That's kind of how I approached school until I sort of got to high school, and then I was a little bit probably not rebellious, but I was
very nice.
I just didn't like doing things that were for no reason.
Okay.
So I just didn't do things for no reason. Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool. And what about in terms of like when you started, when you were like nearing the end of high school, in terms of career, did you have any sort of ideas floating through your mind at the time?
Not my own ideas. So I guess
I love
even
it.
though I said I wanted to do my own thing, and I still like really respected my parents' opinion and cultural opinion. So I was like, I knew somewhat that I wanted to be a musician and I knew I wanted to be in the arts, but it was kind of not really supported at a, I suppose, emotional level.
Yeah, Asian parents,
Yeah.
man.
So no, I don't blame my parents at all. Like it's tough because
They choose
they
what they think
want
is
they
best.
want what's best for you, but they don't know how to express it. So what's best for you is keep you safe, rather than keep you emotionally happy. So,
Yeah.
but it's fine. That's fine.
Yeah.
It's so I went into education. And,
For them.
Yeah, did that, and then I did music education at the same time, and then didn't really like that. Moved to Brisbane, did some more education, and then then didn't really like that, and then moved into the fitness industry.
Yeah, that's so interesting. Yeah, Asian parents, I think, they also love being a teacher, that kind of career, because all the holidays in between. So my parents did sort of push that a bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I don't know, teaching children, not for me. Teaching teenagers, unless I can teach them martial arts, it's fine. I can't do it, yeah.
Oh, really? What is it about teaching that you think that doesn't really appeal to your personality?
It's probably the bureaucracy of the staff, bureaucracy of the parents.
Yeah.
I don't actually, if I really think about it, I don't really have a problem with the kids. I have a problem with doing stuff for no reason. I have a problem with that. Yeah, so yeah. Curriculum, doing things based on curriculum for the sake of a curriculum, rather than
Like studying maths for math's sake, or like what?
well,
what
not
is
giving
some
so maths is great, but
Yeah.
not giving it context. Like here's trigonometry, but they don't tell you why you should use trigonometry.
Yeah.
So it's
That's
like
so funny.
like it's important for like accurate measurements and things like that, but they never really tell you that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like study history. It's like
It's
for the
good
sake
for
of
you.
history, yeah, just because it's good, not because you want to learn from the mistakes of the past or learn past lessons so you don't repeat the past, that kind of thing. They don't give you that context.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. So I don't like doing things for no reason.
Sums it up very nicely. Yeah. Cool. And then, so when you graduated, what did you graduate from? Because you did a bit of.
Yeah, it's education, music, and fitness industry as well. Like so, fitness.
Oh, so it's kind of like 3 majors.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So when you graduated, you entered more towards the fitness industry, right?
Yeah, I just basically left the education industry because I just didn't want it as part of my life. So, like I said, I can't do things for no reason, and
Yeah.
like to teach for no reason. Like it wasn't really who I was. So it's like I had to find something that kind of, I suppose, appealed to my character and my personality and who I am. And really, there's only 2 sides to it. It's just music and I suppose something active.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
But then
I
you-
just gravitated towards the fitness industry. Yeah, quickly got qualified in that, and then started working straight away.
Yeah, that's interesting. So what was your first job in the fitness industry like?
Personal trainer.
Oh, okay.
Actually, like gym floor instructor, personal trainer. That was the
Yeah.
first job. Yeah.
Was it, how does one become a personal trainer in the beginning?
There's a few different ways, but I guess the most common way is just do a certificate 4 in fitness.
Yeah.
That's probably the easiest way,
Yeah.
path of least resistance. Or you can go tertiary education way and get a Bachelor of Exercise Science, or you can kind of, there's many different ways about it. It's a pretty unregulated industry. But, well, I know, like all industries, you'll have
Yeah.
good and bad. Right? So those who have the attitude will be good.
Yeah. And how hard was it to sort of, I guess, make money? Was it like, because when you first enter the industry, nobody knows you, and I suppose that being like a personal trainer, it's supposed to be like, you know, all that branding, or do you just go to a gym, you be their personal trainer, and then you sort of go from there?
Any industry is pretty straightforward to make money, but it comes down to understanding that if you want to enter an industry and you want to enter it as a sole trader or as a business owner, there's more than just your industry's knowledge that you need and skills that you need. You need to have financial literacy and business acumen and all that sort of
Yeah.
thing. But once you got that, you can basically do whatever you want.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah,
that's cool.
Live in a good society, we can do that.
Yeah, we live in Australia. Nice. So when you did personal training, did you enjoy the job? Were you like, oh man, yeah, this is what I want to do? Or
I really enjoyed the training side of it, but when the first few months of stumbling around, I didn't really know how to do it. Balance the financial side and balance the constant education as well.
yeah, were you a
But-
sole trader when you were doing the
Yeah.
personal? Oh yeah.
Sole trader, yeah, and that was that was difficult. But I mean, if you care about something enough, you can just
Yeah. figured out.
hustle and you'll get there, and then you'll find you can push through.
Yeah. And can I ask you, like, how did you get your first clients in the early days?
That's pretty funny. I stood in the middle of Brisbane CBD, and I had these little flyers. No, I had little business cards and said, "Would you like free personal training?" Free personal training. Had my phone number and everything on it. And if they said yes, I'd get their phone number and ring them up, and then I try and organise it on the spot. So I got my first 20 clients from there.
Wow.
Yeah.
And so like 20 clients, how many hours of standing? Just like in the middle of the street, or?
In the middle of the street. So
You're brave.
yeah, so I might do like 2 or 3 hours every day, just standing in the middle of the street around, sort of mid-morning. Yeah, pretty much 99% of people will say no.
Yeah.
But then like 1% of 1,000 people is still,
Yeah. And how'd
still
you-
enough.
Yeah. How'd you get this brilliant idea of standing in the middle of the street?
So, someone told me that's how it works. So I just did it.
Yeah, that's cool. And then what happened after being like a personal trainer? Like how long did this last?
That lasted for a long time. So I kept being personal trainer. I didn't work for the same company over and over again. But then I ended up teaching at the Australian Institute of Fitness. I taught there for a few years, and then I was still a personal trainer at the same time.
Yeah.
But then I sort of made it a bit bigger and started running more group fitness classes, and then
Oh, that's cool.
turned it into a gym, I suppose.
Yeah. Oh, okay. And then tell me more about that gym you started.
Yeah, so I started the gym. I ran that for a few years. I started
What's
with
the name?
It's Ascension Performance Labs, but I ran that for a few years with 3 business partners, and then that was really good. I really enjoyed my time there, and then slowly my business partners started to leave the business, not on any sort of bad terms. They just ran their time, and then I gradually got more and more busy with more responsibility of business partners, and then I ended up working like basically 100 hours a week.
That is crazy.
Yeah, for a few years straight, and then I just sort of took a step back and realised like I wasn't really living; I was just working.
Yeah.
So then I decided to stop it, and then took a while, sort of soul searching for a while. So like, was the fitness industry really something I wanted to do, or was I just running away from the fact that I really wanted to just pursue music?
Yeah.
So I made a choice. I was like, okay, that's enough for the fitness industry. Let's go into the music industry just as hard.
Yeah. Wow. And so how long was that fitness industry sort of phase for? Was it for like 5 years?
It was 10 years, about 10 years.
Wow, that's solid.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. And did you also, you said that you were lecturing at the Institute of Fitness.
Yeah.
And how did you enjoy that? Because were you doing stuff for no reason?
Actually, it's a really good company to work for. I really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed teaching the personal trainers, because
I suppose it's more practical.
Yeah, it's practical teaching, and there was a reason to teach them. There was no reason.
And there's like immediate feedback loop, right?
Until it's sort of, I don't want to say negative things about the company, but after a while you sort of start to realise that maybe the education wasn't their priority, it was more profits. So I couldn't stand by that, so I left that job.
Yeah. Fair enough. Cool. And so how long did you run Essential Performance Labs for?
It ran in the gym form for about 5 years, and then in a smaller form, it was probably 2 or 3 years before that, before I brought partners on board and things like that.
Yeah. Oh wait, so you ran it like as a sole trader pretty much for like 2 or 3 years, and then you brought partners on?
Yeah.
Wow, so that's like
but
8 years.
it wasn't, I didn't have a venue or anything. I sort of started in like someone else's gym.
Yeah.
I started in like a boxing gym, and then moved over to a fighting gym, and then built it up over time into my own venue.
Yeah, that's cool. And you only sold it recently?
Yeah, I sold it. It was actually the best timing. So it was like 2020, and I think it was like February or March 2020. I sold it. Finished everything, got it all finalised, and then went into lockdown. But I didn't do it that quick. I was thinking about closing it for about 18 months, because it took that long to kind of get everything sort of finalised.
Yeah. Wow. And tell me more about running this business. It's quite interesting, right?
Yeah, it was.
How did you get the idea? And like, people would feel like, there is like quite a big risk to sort of, buy out the venue and then start the company, or is that not really?
Well, not really. It was, I guess if you're in the fitness industry, it's kind of like, it was just sort of a natural progression to open your own gym.
Yeah.
I just thought, I'd like that. I'd like to try that. And I just did it.
Cool.
Yeah.
And how did you get the traction for the gym going? Standing in the street again?
No. I learned marketing, and I learned like targeted ads and things
Yeah.
like that. I ran a lot of seminars, free seminars, just telling,
yeah.
like, invite anyone to come along, and from the seminar I'd say, look, this is how we train. If you like to join in, join in. If you don't, see you later. And you're always welcome back to more seminars. So I just ran a lot of those and built the client base up from there.
That's cool. And what were your main services at the Essentia Performance Labs?
It was all strength and conditioning. So like, basically make people bigger, faster, and stronger, and fitter.
Wow. And then do you go through like a whole like nutrition plan with them as well? Or like what are your...
I didn't do it directly, so I usually would outsource that to someone else, but
Yeah.
I would give nutrition guidance. Yeah, there's a lot of that.
Yeah, and then you also got one guy to the Olympics. Tell me more about that.
It wasn't the Olympics, it
The
was
Commonwealth.
Commonwealth Games.
Oh, my bad,
So,
yeah.
yeah, and it was in powerlifting, so we got him to powerlifting, and he won I think he won gold medal for his weight division. Yeah.
Wow, that's
Yeah,
amazing.
for bench
So
press.
proud.
Yeah.
Yeah, and how does one get to the Commonwealth? Do you have any...
You got to, as an athlete, so it's like, I would say a little bit of talent, but not too much. And then
Surprised.
a lot of hard work. So, thing with talent, I've probably only met really 2 people with like real talent who just came in my gym, and then the first day they just lift 200 kilos, like no training at
Yeah.
all, they could just do it. I was like, wow, that's someone who's ridiculously strong and can,
Yeah.
and they're not super big, just like a normal sized person, just straight up 200 kilos. Like that took me a long time to train to get there.
Yeah.
I was like, oh yeah, that one's talented, but with that much talent, it's only a matter of time before it starts to get hard. And when it gets too hard, they haven't really had that much time with struggle or with grit or having to
Yeah.
push through something, so they end up dropping off when it's too hard. Despite having the talent, they could have been the world's strongest person.
Yeah.
But too much talent was a curse, not a gift.
Yeah, because life
So-
was too smooth in
Yeah.
the beginning.
So I find people with a little bit of talent where they understand how to do something, but it's still a lot of hard work, and then grit. So when it's hard, they're willing to push through. It's my job as a coach to make sure it's just the right level of hard,
Yeah.
not too hard, but not too easy.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, and then train hard, have strong vision, and then have a good support network.
Yeah. All the recipes for a good life. And was it ever your dream to like be an athlete, go to the Olympics, Commonwealth Games?
No, it wasn't my dream at all.
So interesting.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think I just chose the fitness industry because I actually was just telling lies to myself. Probably I wanted to be a musician. Yeah.
Yeah. And
And
so
it was probably a bit more respectable than being a musician in my parents' eyes, I guess.
yeah. Oh, did you enjoy the fitness aspect? Was it something that
I
like,
still love training. I still love
Yeah.
being fit and taking care of myself, but I don't think I could go back and be working in the
Yeah.
fitness industry.
Yeah, cool. Also want to talk a little bit about selling the Ascension Performance Labs. Ascension, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So what did that feel like? It was kind of like your baby for like 8 years. Was there a
It
lot
was
of...
actually quite hard emotionally.
Yeah.
Because it was like when I finalised everything, it was a massive sense of relief because it was a huge project to get it done.
Yeah.
But then I went from basically 100 hours a week working to 0 because it was lockdown the next day. And,
Wow,
I
good
had
timing.
Yeah, that was pretty hard. Yeah.
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 Was it kind of like a hole in your heart?
Maybe not that dramatic, but
Yeah.
it's sort of like a little bit of like crisis of identity, I suppose,
Yeah.
because like I was a workaholic. I worked too much,
Yeah.
and
That's so crazy that
Yeah,
like you
and
didn't enjoy it that much, but you still worked your butt off.
yeah, I guess I don't know. I suppose working that hard sort of distracts you from.
Thank
You can get lost in the work and then you lose sight of your actual life vision, I suppose.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then tell me more about the good stuff, the musician. How does you always had like you told me earlier that you had always sort of loved music from the beginning, so it was
Yeah,
sort
I
of
just
sewn
always,
into-
well, actually, I always thought music was interesting. But as a kid, I wasn't that interested in music actually. I didn't play it. So I had a guitar when I was like maybe 4 or 5, but it was just like, here you go, play this. It's like extracurricular stuff for your kids, that kind of thing. And I wasn't that interested.
Surprised you didn't get piano, huh?
Yeah, I did get piano, but I just like, I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that. And I think maybe it was too expensive to have a piano or something like that. Guitar's cheaper.
Yeah.
So I had a guitar, never practiced until I was maybe 16, 15, 16. And then,
Wow, that 12-year gap.
yeah, I didn't care about it until just
But
one
you
day.
took lessons or something? Or nah?
No, I had like maybe 1 or 2 lessons here or there, but not that many. Basically didn't play guitar. And then, well, I mean, I could strum a few things here and there, but then when I was 15, 16, I was just like, okay, I want to learn this properly.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then started learning everything on the radio, and then started learning things from different CDs, and then started exploring different genres of music that,
Yeah.
yeah, just sort of went from there.
That's cool. And while you were like running this gym and being like a personal trainer, was like music still a sort of constant thread in your life a bit?
It, more like a constant longing in that sense. So it was like I was always working, and in the back of my mind, I was kind of like, if I work hard enough and make enough money, I can just play guitar. And I was sort of like a deep thought, not really a surface level thought.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, it was just kind of like that. But it was here and there, but I never really put as much effort into it. Yeah, not until lockdown, really.
Yeah. Wow. Like lockdown is like a turning point in your life.
Yeah.
Yeah. And how does one start to follow their passion and become a musician at that point in time?
Have a little bit of talent. Yeah. And then a lot of grit.
Yeah.
And then probably one of the best things is look to people who are 10 to 20 years ahead of you and have exactly what you want, and just shadow them and learn everything you can from them. So watch them, watch the mistakes they make, watch all the good habits that they do, watch them, see what they do, take everything that you like on board, copy that. Anything that doesn't work, just throw that away and then keep at it.
Yeah, that's cool. And who were your sort of like mentors, like idols back in the day?
I've got 2 really important mentors. They're still my mentors now, and I learn from them actually to this day. It's like there's like 2 local guitarists. One's Tim Sladden, the other one's Simon Gardner.
Yeah.
And I just watch them. I talk to them. I buy them coffee, and
How did you meet, by the way? Like, or
I just meet them in the fitness industry. Like you just go out
That's
and network.
hilarious.
Yeah, so you just go to gigs and you say hello, say hey, cool, can I talk to you? And then
oh, so you were doing like a fitness gig, and then there was some musicians there. And
no,
that's how
you just go watch live music. And
and then you
if
catch
you
them up.
and if you like the person that you're watching, just go say hello, introduce yourself. And,
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh, that's cool. And then, how did you sort of, I guess, putting yourself out there in terms of music during lockdown? Were you recording?
Well, lockdown we
videos?
couldn't really do anything. So lockdown, I actually, I just played a lot of guitar, and I was sort of like not really sure if I should really go into it and chase it that hard. And then I thought, oh, maybe I want to build guitars. So I built some guitars at a guitar building school.
Wow.
And I built 2, and I was like, okay, that's enough. I don't want to do this forever. Yeah, it was just sort of answered that question, and then I was like, what do I really want to do? And it was like, I just want to play music.
Yeah.
Yeah. So then I just like sort of took the mindset that the more I immerse myself into the music industry, the more opportunities I can see, and the more opportunities I can grasp onto.
Yeah. And then how do you sort of start, I guess, there's always that classic starving musician kind of thing. Like how do you start, I guess, like putting your name out there, I guess, and making money, or how was that in the early days?
No, it's just, it's be real about it. The starving musician, I mean, there's always going to be like injustices and some unfairness in every industry and in every society, but Australia is really good. Like, it's not an unfair society. Like, I mean, there's going to be some level of like disparity and stuff like that, but I mean, there's opportunity everywhere. You just sort of start putting yourself out there and look for it. So take that sort of hope and then add a bit of realism to it. It's like, okay, you need money immediately.
Yeah.
So it's like, what's the most immediate way to get money? It's like, okay, find a job in the fitness industry,
Yeah.
go do that, or go hustle, go to
Yeah.
every single cafe, every single gig, and say, can I play here?
Yeah.
Meet with people, play with them, and then they might give you opportunities, that sort of
Yeah.
thing. So it's like, put yourself out there. And then at the same time, it's like, this is more just general advice for anyone, but like, I'm already pretty fortunate, like I'm pretty secure financially, but
Yeah.
for people who aren't in that situation, it's like, we've got government assistance, like that's all,
Yeah.
like use it.
Yeah.
Use it, because you'll pay it back later when you start making the money.
Yeah.
You'll pay it back, so just go get the government assistance. There's lots of grants out there as well, so anything community-based, if you have a project you want
Yeah.
to launch, you can apply for grants. Yeah. There's money everywhere, you just need to know how to get it.
Yeah. Oh, that's cool.
So you don't need to starve.
Yeah.
And even if you do starve, there's food services too. But don't starve. Don't starve. You don't need to.
Wow. So how did you, because when you sort of, your turning point for your musician career was around at lockdown, which is like the worst time because that means you can't go out. So what were you doing in that sort of like 3-month period? You were just practicing?
I was practicing. I was basically like, I made the decision. It's like, okay, I want to be a musician. I'm very rusty.
Yeah.
Like, I need to get to a professional level.
Yeah.
So I practiced. I got lessons online.
Yeah.
And then played and just played for like hours. Yeah.
Yeah. And then when was the point when you started to sort of approach people to play for them? Like, because it's, you know.
I mean, we could go in and out, right? So I was like already just messaging people, and then
Yeah.
I ended up doing a lot of like jams and joining bands and things like that, and then the opportunity just grew from there.
Wow.
Just networking, meet people,
Yeah. But that's so
be
cool.
nice. Yeah, don't be mean.
Yeah. It's kind of interesting because it seems like it's almost like a parallel when you sort of breaking into the fitness industry. It's kind of just standing there, putting yourself in the middle of opportunity, and then being like a musician. That's kind of what you do. Just
Well, yeah, I
randomly.
think that's kind of. Well, I won't say it's a rule of life, but it's kind of.
Yeah.
You can't just sit and wait for opportunities to come to you. You got to go out and get them.
Yeah.
Like a lot of people talk to me and say, they always say there's not many opportunities in Brisbane for music. And it's like, well, if you're not looking for them, you won't find them. But
Yeah.
if you go out and look for them, you'll find them.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
That's
then, like, the more you look, the more you find. The less you look, the less you'll find. I don't know, that just seems to be the way of the world.
Yeah. And so also I want to talk a little bit more about that lockdown period. So when you started just, playing guitar every day, were you like, were you so certain that like, oh yes, this is what I want to do? Or was there a lot of hesitation like, I'm a bit tired today, I don't really want to do it, I don't know if I really want to continue? Was there that sort of struggle or was it clear?
I mean, like, all humans have procrastination and they struggle with that. I guess the sort of more like how clear my vision was for what I actually wanted to do. I suppose that was the more important thing. So,
Yeah.
I mean, procrastination is like, for me, I just got to tell myself like, what is this? What if I have to exercise or I have to practice this scale? Like, what is the purpose of doing this? And it's
Finding
like,
that context.
Yeah, and it's like, just don't
Not
do
doing it for no
Yeah,
reason.
don't do it for no reason. That's right. Well, don't do it for no reason. But even if like I'm tired, I don't feel like it today, and I just take a step back, take a deep breath, and go, why do you need to practice? It's like to be a professional musician. It's like, why do you need to train? It's like, okay, so I can live longer to be a professional musician for longer. It's like, oh, why do I need to practice martial arts? It's because I want to get better.
Yeah, that's cool. Tell me about the first gig that you did.
When I was young, or?
Oh no, like when you started your decision to become like a musician.
I guess I've kind of been gigging on and off non-stop since I was a teenager, but like sporadically. So it's kind of like that. So
You were a traveling musician at some point, or
traveling musician?
I'm not really sure because you had a blog, and then it was like five lessons or something from being a traveling musician or something, and I was like,
Oh
what
no,
does that
that
mean?
blog was just like sort of for me to remember later. Like I just learned that from someone else. Yeah.
Oh wait, so it wasn't you traveling around?
No, it's something I want to do. Yeah, eventually. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's cool.
I mean, I did travel like I guess just the east coast of Australia, but not very far. Yeah.
Yeah. Were you like busking along the way, or how does it work? or you just already have predetermined gigs?
Yeah, you just book gigs wherever you want to play and just play there.
Yeah.
Depending on the band you're with. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, that's cool that you've been doing gigs on and off
Yeah.
throughout. So it wasn't that nerve-wracking like being the first time on stage?
No, so like, no, it wasn't like I've never done this before.
Yeah,
I've
yeah,
gotta
I
try
was
this.
thinking
Like I've sort of had some experience as a
Yeah.
musician, and I guess I always felt most comfortable doing that.
Yeah. And so what is your sort of like performance sort of schedule look like? Are you mainly like a soloist? You mainly play in
Playing
groups?
bands a lot, record in recording studios a lot,
Yeah.
playing duos, things like that.
Yeah, and which bands are you a part of? The audience would love to know.
So there's a few. So the Mermaid Avenue is one that's like a country band.
Yeah.
There's another one called Third Groove, which is like a funk covers band. There's another one called Preston Fight, which is like a heavy metal band.
Yeah.
There's another one called Filthy Foes, which is kind of another kind of hip hop funk band.
Yeah.
And there's a few other like sort of just temporary bands that I'm in, just
Yeah.
sort of, just filling in for. So probably another 4 or 5 temporary bands I'm filling in for. So
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay, and what does your schedule look like on a daily basis now? So like Monday, you can wake up anytime you
wake
want.
up, practice, teach guitar, teach kung fu, go to bed. Some exercise in between.
Yeah.
Obviously eat, but that's about it. Yeah.
And how do you also you also did a lot of like martial arts in your life. When did that start in the timeline?
I guess it started in sort of primary school. I just sort of dabbled in boxing a little bit. And then high school I did some boxing. And then out of high school I did capoeira. So it was like Brazilian martial arts. And then back to sort of boxing again. And then sort of did like kickboxing kind of thing, but
Yeah.
I was just sort of with friends, and then became a boxing coach just as an extra qualification. And then after that I did praying mantis kung fu. Did that for a long time, and then stopped for a little while, and then started Wing Chun training.
That's cool. And why the switch between many others? Like usually people choose one and then they just do it. Was it getting sick of it?
I think most people actually are looking for like the strongest or the best style.
Yeah.
That's definitely what I was kind of looking for.
Yeah.
Like what's the best, what's the strongest style, but then it's actually, I don't really think there is any strong style. There's no, it's all human movement. We're all just 2 arms, 2 legs and a head,
Yeah.
and torso. But I find it's more, what can you dedicate yourself to that gives you the skill, not what style is better.
So just pretty much which one you like the most.
Yeah, and I think, it's something that fits your personality, fits who you are, something that'll give you the opportunity to grow. That's where it's most important, I think.
Yeah, that's cool. And what did you like? How were all these different martial arts? How are they different, kind of? And which one is suitable for like what kind of person?
So boxing is really good. Like it's really easy to get into. It's not a complex style of martial arts to learn initially, but you can make it as complex as you like. And you can get to whatever level you want. So you can just learn the basic footwork, basic punches, and then just punch a bag and it'll just make you very fit, and that's good. You can take it to a little bit of higher level, and then you can start sparring with people and learn a bit more advanced footwork, a bit more advanced evasions and things like that, and defense. And then if you like it even more, you can take it even higher and do tournaments and matches and things like that. But that's really good. But then I suppose it comes down to the culture of the sport as well. So because it is a sport, it's very much based on getting better for a match, getting better for a sport, getting better for a sparring session or a tournament or something like that. Which I never really liked. Yeah, I never really liked that.
Seems pointless, huh?
Yeah, it was like, well, why would I go? Wasn't really interested in that sort of side of things.
Yeah.
Capoeira is a lot of kicking and it's very, very cultural, which is really nice. There's a lot of music and a really good community. But it wasn't really contact in any way. I think they've changed it a little bit. There's a bit more contact now, but when I did it, wasn't really any contact.
Oh, that must be
But
weird.
there was a lot of freestyle stuff, but you wouldn't really connect any of the kicks. You just sort of, it'd be more like a dance,
Yeah.
which is really nice. It's really good. I just stopped because I hurt my hip, and then I was just lazy to go back. It was just a minor thing, just like a little strain or something like that,
Yeah.
or sprain.
Oh,
But I
those
just-
kicks, man.
Yeah, I just stopped and I lost the habit and then didn't go back because I was lazy.
Yeah.
And
But then you chose a new one, right?
Yeah, and then I went back to boxing and then I got fit and then I just focused all on fitness and then I went to praying mantis, which was really good. I enjoyed that a lot.
Yeah.
Really hard, explosive, powerful style. Actually, out of all of the styles I've sort of experienced, Tong Long probably hits the hardest. They hit really hard, harder than any style. Yeah. So I reckon some of their hammer fists hit nearly as hard as some people's kicks. But, yeah, it's pretty solid.
And how long were you in Tong Long for?
A couple of years, and then I just stopped because I got busy. But I was losing a bit of interest in it because there wasn't any sparring in it. So not a lot of free movement, very regimented. Yeah, stopped that for a while, and then moved to practical Wing Chun, and then I was like, look, if you wanted, I told myself, look, you've jumped around too many styles. It's like just pick one, dedicate yourself to it, and then once you pick the right one, just stay there.
Yeah.
So I just picked practical Wing Chun and just stayed there.
Wow. And how many years ago was that? That was like 2 years.
No, it's probably 5.5 years.
Oh, wow, that's a
6
long
years
time.
ago, yeah.
And how do you know that this one was the one for you?
I actually had my doubts at the start.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I did too.
But because it felt very different to other styles that I've trained. But what actually kept me coming back was the community. Yeah, it's like really good. Like Sifu Jack is the teacher, and
Yeah.
he was just a really good mentor. Really cared for his students. Whereas I found the other places they cared for their students, but didn't as much.
Yeah.
Not to the same degree. Yeah, so I was like, okay, it's worth sticking around for
Yeah.
a good person like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then after a while, I was like, look, I had to take a step back when I had my doubts and go, like, how do I actually know it doesn't work? Like, am I actually qualified? Do I actually have enough knowledge to know that it's not a practical style? And I was like, I'd asked myself those questions. I was like, I don't actually know the answer to these questions, so stick to it.
Yeah. Do you now know if it works?
Yeah, I know. Now I know it definitely works.
Damn, I had my doubts around the futsal.
Yeah, that
Which is-
was one I had a lot
Yeah.
of doubts on, but now I use it a lot.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay. That's pretty cool. And then how did you sort of progress to teaching martial arts?
I don't know.
It's probably Jack. He's like, hey, we need
Yeah,
help.
Sifu Jack did ask me to apply.
Yeah.
So like I was only trained for a year before they asked me to become an instructor.
That's so quick.
So, but then when I trained for that year, I trained every single day
Yeah.
and never missed one session and did every grading and finished the first form.
Yeah. Wow, in the first year.
In the
Well
first
done.
year. But
Ooh.
it sounds fast, but it's not because I trained every day, like some days twice. So-
Yeah, and how did you what is the breakup between music and martial arts? Because were you doing music at that time?
No.
No, you weren't. You were. Wow, you were training every day and then you were running the gym.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow, did you sleep?
Not much. Not much.
Well, what was your schedule like? Were you like 5 a.m. wake up, one of those people?
No, I would wake up at like 3, and then I'd start work at 4, work 4 till 9, and then I do all my admin stuff, run the lunch session, do all more admin stuff, and then do some afternoon sessions. And I have to leave the night sessions to someone else, and then I come and train martial arts, and then maybe go to sleep around 10, 11, that kind of time.
Wow, so was that like 3 hours of training of martial arts each day?
Yeah,
And then,
3 hours every day. Yeah.
Wow, and then like 7.
7 days a week. Yeah.
Wow, and then like 7 days of running the gym. Oh no, 7 hours of running
7
the gym.
days. Yeah. The running the gyms never ends. It was just you're basically on call all the time. But, yeah. But
Wow.
I don't know, I don't know, if anything means enough to you, you'll do it.
Yeah. Wow. You went hard with Wing Chun.
Yeah.
Tell me more about getting to Bilgi in 2 years. So yeah, Chris is famous for finishing the Wing Chun gradings very quickly. I've always been asking you advice since
It's,
then. What prompted you to go so fast?
I don't think I had any intention to finish that fast. I
You
didn't really have the intention to do it that quick. It was more,
You did double grading, sir.
yeah, I just went, look, if you do this properly, do every single grading and don't care about the outcome.
Yeah.
So it's like pass or fail, don't worry about it, just do it. And then that'll show you whether you can do the martial arts under high pressure, high stress.
Yeah.
So I just did that. And then I just passed a few, failed a lot,
Yeah.
passed a few, failed a lot. And then because I did more gradings than anyone else did,
Yeah.
that's how I finished it quicker. It's not, I wouldn't say there's anything miraculous or anything
Yeah.
special about it. I just did more gradings than what people do, like 3 times more gradings than someone does in a year. It'll just naturally progress you faster.
Yeah. And were you loving Wing Chun in those 2 years? Is that what
Yeah.
made you train so hard? Like you're so busy and like then you've always sort of done martial arts before, so I'm surprised that you would really throw yourself into it. Was it that special?
Yeah, in a sense it's special, but maybe that's not the right word for it. I think it's when it's who you are, it's just what you do.
Wow.
That's as simple as I can put it. It's like, it's just who I am, so yeah, I just do it. So if it's like, that's kind of, I should expand on that. It's who I am in a large sense. Like it defines who I am as a large part of my life. So I dedicate a large part of my life to it. Yeah. So
Yeah.
you just got to, I suppose for other people, just choose the scale of how big you want this to be a part of your life and just do that. And if it
Yeah.
needs to become a bit more, then let it be a bit more. If it needs to be a bit less, let it be a bit less.
Yeah.
Yeah. But just leave it as a part of you and you'll always do it.
Oh, amazing. When did you decide it was a big part? Like first 3 months you weren't really feeling it.
The first 3 months was just my own ego, really. It was just like, oh, I know a little bit of martial arts. Like, I'm sure, how is this supposed to work against a boxer? But then, I don't know, there was just sort of like some small thoughts I had. But then really, it's because I've been instructing people, it's sort of like, I could disconnect myself from those feelings and go, well, you're not an expert, so you can't really say whether it works or not. So.
Yeah. And now you think it works?
Yeah, now it definitely works.
It works?
Yeah.
Okay. I'll see if it works. Not up
No,
to that phase yet.
don't go out and test it. Yeah, go spar against someone first. That's a safer option. Don't go out in the street and start a fight.
Yeah, at what year mark did you, is it when you went to Chamkil, which is our second form, that you felt like it works?
I think it can work from the beginning.
Dear.
But look, this doesn't mean that you can go out and bash people. So if you just did, say, 2 or 3 weeks of Wing Chun training and you find yourself in a self-defense situation, but you remember to take a deep breath and then you're not panicking and you can walk away from a confrontation, then self-defense worked. Right? If you stay composed in the situation rather than lash out or freeze, then it worked for you.
Yeah. Okay, cool. And also tell me about that link between the music and martial arts. What's the commonality?
I suppose martial arts has this, I guess, perception that you become a kung fu master or martial arts master, whatever that is. But there is a similar process between the two, like the pathway to mastery is very similar. So the activities are completely different. They couldn't be more different, but the mental pathways and the soft skills and the spirit of it is very much the same. So it's kind of like martial arts, you've got to do the drills. You've got to do the footwork drills, you've got to do the hand drills, you've got to do the coordination drills.
It's like doing the scales.
And then, yeah. And then that teaches your body to move in a particular way. And then you take that in music, you play the scales, you play the chords, you learn the music theory, and you do the ear training, and you're teaching your body to recognize those sounds, and recognize all these, the language of it, so to speak. And then you got to take those drills and put them into context. So as a beginner, you put them into context in a way of like a choreographed set combination, and then in music you take that into a choreographed song. You learn a song, right? And then you practice those skills. And then you can take it to a higher level. So martial arts, right? So you learn, you do all the drills, you do all the footwork things you need to do. Then you've got to take it to a somewhat free or chaotic setting. So that's where you start sparring, right? And then you'll soon realize that if you're in the sparring situation, if you overthink, you'll freeze and you won't flow between anything. So if you're going, okay, if I have to put my elbow at 135 degrees and then put my angle at this particular way and step in this, if you're thinking like that in the freestyle or the sparring situation, you just won't flow. You'll stop and you won't move properly. You'll just be completely rigid. If you take that in music and you go, okay, I'm playing in the key of A, let's play the major 6, all right, but I want to play in the 5th position, but I need to go into a higher tessitura. And if you do that, you won't make music, you'll just freeze and not flow. So you have, in those two situations, you got to do the drills so you can let go of the thinking and just express yourself freely. So physically in martial arts, and then musically in music. So the pathway is pretty similar, and that's my take on it. I won't say that's the definitive way, but that's what I've noticed.
I like your introspection. And how do you become? You seem like you're very self-aware. How did you sort of get there?
I had some really good mentors, and I read a lot of books, and I've just sort of noticed and been told that self-awareness is one of the most important values or virtues or personality traits. So I was like, okay, if my mentors have that, I want that. So I try to practice that as much as possible every day.
And how's that?
And I guess I suppose throwing it back to, like, I don't like doing stuff for no reason.
I guess it's exactly like that. Wow. So do you keep a diary? Is this how you sort of become more self-aware?
I do, like, sort of write down my notes a lot. I think a lot, spend a lot of introspective time thinking about stuff, and then read a lot. That's how I do it.
Oh, that's cool. Has Wing Chun sort of, doing martial arts, does it sort of change, like, your personality? Does it make you more peaceful? Does music, is there any sort of impact?
I wouldn't say it's changed. Like, you just grow. Like, you're always going to be fundamentally who you are. But it will, the martial arts should enhance you, not change you. I think that's the way I like to look at it. So, so the martial arts, if you're an aggressive type of person, I wouldn't say it would mellow you out. It will integrate that aggression into who you are, and you can choose to use it at more appropriate times. So you don't want to be like a pushover kind of person, right? You want to be more assertive, and if you've already got that natural fire behind you, you can use that assertion and be more effective. But it's not a violent kind of aggression. It's like, you know how to tap into different levels of aggression at the right time. And it's not like I don't mean aggression by yelling at someone. It could just be like, when you say no and you mean it. And it doesn't have to be like, it don't have to be a rude no. You can just be no, and then you mean it. And when you say yes, it's like, yes, I mean it. And then if you're a softer character, it's like you don't want the martial arts to turn you into an aggressive person. Right? It's like the softness of character will really help you with the flow of being a martial artist as well. But then it'll stop you from being a pushover as well. So,
Yeah, that's cool. And how do you also become so peaceful and zen? I feel like I'm getting that like really soothing vibe.
Really?
Yeah. I don't know. Like, has that been the case when you were a child?
No, I'm not a peaceful person. I'm more of a aggressive, hothead kind of person. Yeah,
Whoa.
Yeah.
Like, still to this day, you believe?
yeah.
As
But
in, like,
it's-
you know, something happens, you feel the fire in you, but you choose.
Yeah, but no, that's what I mean by integrating into who you are. It's
Yeah.
like I'm not going to react with. And
I really can't tell.
I'm not going to be controlled by emotions. I can be the master of my emotions.
Wow,
So
you have
you-
such a peaceful vibe.
Really?
Yeah, you do.
Well, that's good.
I was going to ask you for tips.
Then the martial arts works.
Yeah.
That's really no. It's like no. I'm a hot-headed kind of person, quite aggressive, quite aggressive kind of person. But
Yeah.
but I've integrated that into who I am. It's not. I haven't suppressed it. It's always
Yeah.
there. So like if I say no,
Yeah.
like I mean no.
Yeah.
If I'm going to do something, I mean yes. I'm going to go do it.
Yeah.
But I'm not. I don't want to be controlled by that,
Yeah.
by that temper or by that aggression.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool. Nice. We're nearly towards the end of the podcast. Just a few more deep questions.
All right.
So, what do you think the meaning of life is, in your opinion?
Meaning of life is what you make it. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like I think. I suppose if we're put here and we have to ask the question, then we're given the responsibility to find the answer. That's kind of my take on it. I know some people find meaning in religion and meaning in acts of service or meaning in their family, and that's all great. I think just you choose it and then you act on it. I think that's probably my take on it. It's like we ascribe the meaning to life.
That's cool. And so, Chris, if you won the lottery tomorrow and then, you know, big bucks, whatnot, how would you change your life? What would you do differently?
Probably just pay someone to vacuum my floor. That's about it. Really. That's probably it. I wouldn't really change anything. Yeah.
And what is your like day-to-day life now? Is it like as, are you, because before in your sort of previous life doing fitness, you were working very long hours. And I suppose as a musician to get good, you would sort of need to put in that amount of
You'll
effort.
put in the time, but it's just, like
more
I said, it's more balanced. But like I said before, it's who you are, it's what you do, you just do it.
And do you, like, would you say like 80% of you is like dedicating your time to music and then 20% to martial arts, or how is that sort of breakdown? You're more of a musician.
I kind of look at my life in sort of 4 areas. It's like 4 main areas. So it's like the health side of things, and I basically think health is a huge part of my life. So, and I make martial arts and weight training the crux of that aspect of my life. And then wealth is sort of like, that's music. I make my money out of music and other things, so that's going to be a huge part of my life. And then the other one's like relationships, so who I spend time with, friends and family, that kind of thing. And that's a huge part of my life, so I balance those 3 things. And then overall, I just got to keep it in check. Am I still feeling like at peace? Yeah. So happiness, I suppose, if that's a real thing, but at peace with things.
And when you say balance, do you, for you, do you believe like just 25% on each 4 of the quadrants, or is there quadrants that you like make bigger?
I think it's not as simple as going 25, 25, 25, 25. It's more like at the end of every day or every week, you got to take a stock take of how you're feeling. So if the week's gone by and you're like, geez, I'm really tired, I'm really exhausted, and what have I done this week? All I've done is martial arts. And it's like, okay, let's take away some time for martial arts and put it into other areas with friends, family, or music, or money, or what have you. Or if you just work the whole week and it's like, oh, I made a lot of money, but I'm tired, I haven't done anything, then spend it, take a step back, divvy up the energy where it needs to go.
Mix and match as you go.
Do something for a reason, not for no reason.
Yeah. I love it. That's such a constant theme since your childhood. That's amazing. And so what is your ideal perfect day in the life?
Perfect day?
Yeah, you wake up at what time and what activities do you fill it with?
That depends on how I'm feeling.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, so I think I'm pretty content with my life right now. So just if I'm tired, go spend some more time with friends and family. If I'm feeling pretty energetic, some more time training martial arts. If I'm feeling more creative, more time music. Yeah.
Yeah.
Just depends on how I'm feeling on any particular day.
Ah, that's pretty cool that you just go with your feelings, go with the flow. That's cool. And so how was this podcast experience? Because I've been asking a lot of people from Wing Chun to get on my podcast and they're a bit scared. So how's the nerves?
No, there's no nerves. But
Wow.
I do talk a lot. This is more than I normally talk.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah. Any surprises?
no, not really.
Okay, that's good. That's chill. So guys, it's not a very scary thing. Look forward to seeing you guys on my pod sometime. Okay, let's wave bye.
Bye.
Bye.